Hey everyone, and welcome to IG8Live Esports. We're live this evening with PGL F1 Wednesday Division and a very wet session here for the Australian Grand Prix, which we're getting ready for here right now. We're already into qualifying 1. 15 minutes left in the session. We got about starting on comms about 3 minutes late. That's fine. Let's see what's going on track here right now. And they're on full wets as they're getting on out laps and getting started on the hot laps here right now to get the laps in. I'm going to get a few stats up on screen, especially the track map, and have a look at how many cars are currently out. This is definitely going to be one interesting session to watch here right now, as it's fully wet on track for qualifying, and I think it might rain throughout most of the qualifying session as it is there right now. So definitely going to be a challenge for some of the drivers on track, and we'll see how they handle with that. We're following right now with Atranak here as he's currently on a hot lap and going not sure well it's actually going for him, but we are going to start to see some lap times coming here pretty soon as well. So let's see, when he invalidates that current lap, so he's going to have to actually try that again. Let's go on with Walker here, who's invalidated his lap as well, as we can see him coming off the grass there, and trying to see who's currently actually running a lap without actually doing an invalidation here. We got Irish on track in Sector 1, and let's see how his lap is going. On board we go. We can see how much water is actually still on track. The racing line is starting to form out just a bit, as quite a few cars already out on track and running here. So we're trying to get an idea of that. And as you can see, it's very, very slippery on the track there right now. So really not too much grip, but still gonna be enough grip for them to try and make a lap time in. And we're gonna see who's gonna be the first driver in here to actually do a successful lap. Oh, and there we go. Jose does a 139.4. Remember, guys, this is on full wets right now. It is absolutely totally wet on track, and I don't think intermediates are going to cut it right now. Let's have a look at tires if we can. Is anyone going to try this on inters? And no, not as yet. It is way too wet for that. I think we're going to leave it on fitted for now, so we can see what exactly these guys are doing. Actually, just put it on best so we can see what exactly they're doing here on track. So far, quite interesting with the session. We got a few more lap times in. Mr. H comes in with the fastest time here in Q1 for a 136.3. Tango goes second fastest. That's his teammate there, 136.5. And then Softar goes a 136.7. Haywood with a 138.8. And Jose with his 139.4 that he did just earlier in the session. So going to be a bit interesting with lap times. Irish now goes fastest in the session at 135.2. Not too bad from him at all. We're going to see how everyone performs in the race session. If that's probably going to be a dry session. I'm not 100% sure. Anyone in the chat probably, hopefully, if any drivers are on, I'm not sure if they can let us know what's going on with the race session itself in terms of the weather conditions for that. Is it going to be dry for that or not? I assume it probably will be dry, but it looks like it's definitely just going to be a full qualifying session here in wet. And I'm not sure if Q2 and Q3 will be full wet as well. We might be going on to intermediates maybe later on in the session if the rain does start to ease out. So we're going to have to see how that works for us. Let's go on over down to Liam here in the Renault 1. Let's see where he is on track here at the moment. Running there in Sector 2. Let's try and get into Sector 3 there right now. So get into Sector 3. So let's see how his time is going to be by the time we finish off this lap here. And welcome to all of you who are joining us on to the stream here right now, who's watching the video. Please, guys, make sure you do leave a like on the video. It really does help us out a lot, and we really do appreciate it. And if you guys are new onto the channel, please make sure you subscribe, because we do have so many different races going on during the course of the week, and we might have quite a few new things upcoming for you guys as well soon. So just keep on board with us for that. And remember, there is a link in the video description to join on to our channel Discord as well, so we can have a chat with me, or have a chat with the drivers, league owners, anyone else in the league there, because that's quite a few. I think we got close to probably about 70 members in it right now, so doing pretty well so far. Liam goes 137.8. We got quite a few more lap times in as well. Let's go on down to Mikey here, who's currently running. And let's see where our lap time stands so far. So far, we still got Irish in Q1 with the fastest lap time at 135.2. Tango goes second fastest, 135.6, about 4/10 behind that. Just about 400th of a second slower there. We have Tree Slayer in third with a 135.6, and he now goes a position down, as well as Tango, with Atranak going into second now at 135.4. It splits between Irish and Tango there. And then Softar is currently fifth fastest in the session at 136.3, sorry. Mr. Rate, sixth fastest, 136.3. 1.4, literally just about 4,000th of a second slower than Zavdar. So quite an interesting lap time, even on the wet, the full wet. These guys are having such competitive times between each other here right now. Mr. Bradfield there in 7th right now with a 137.8. Liam with a 137.8 as well, but about 200ths of a second slower. And then Utez in 9th, currently 138.2, not too bad of a time. We do have Haywood in 10th right now, 138.8, and then Jose, his 139.4 that he has down there with, just puts him down into 11th. Now we got 19 drivers in the session. Usually it's just 15 drivers going over to qualifying 2. Let's see how that's going to work out by the end of this session here. We've got 9.5 minutes or so left in qualifying 1. And then we're going to be heading off straight into Q2 after that. Okay, so let's have a look down at the back of the grid. We got Cody here, and we got Mr. Walker there, and getting on laps there as well. Let's have a look at Walker. He's invalidated this lap once again. He's going to have a bit of a hard time getting a good lap going here, or I can tell that's going to happen there. So let's have a look and see how it's going to work for him. We got Neil down at the back in the racing point here. He's still trying to get a lap in. He's trying to have a look how that's working for him. Jonesy on an out lap right now, so interesting to see what sort of time he's going to be bringing in. Mr. Ray disqualified from the session there. Was he going the wrong way on track? I'm not sure, but we'll probably find out a little bit later on in the session why he was disqualified from qualifying 1. But for now, let's keep on going. We got 13 drivers currently in with our lap times. We range from a 134 to a worse of a 139. So let's see how that's going to work. We do know that it is a bit difficult for a lot of drivers when the track is this wet and they have to be running on the full wet tires like this. And yep, as you can see, it is very difficult in terms of grip out there on track right now. We got a car on the side of the track probably trying to get out of the way there. I think that was Mr. Rage there, and he's disqualified, so that's his car down on the side. Let's see what's happening with the rest of the guys on track here right now. That's a invalidated lap, sorry, from Neil there. Let's go on with Jonesy here right now in a Ferrari, and he is trying to get a lap in right now, desperately trying to get a good lap in to keep himself going over to qualifying 2, and hopefully he does make that at this point. Tango now currently holds on to our fastest time in the session here at 1:34.6, and really quite an impressive time for him. We got Nightwing now goes second fastest with a 1:35.2, and really quite a good lap there as well. Actually quite interesting that it's only about 300 of a second faster than Irish, which he did 1:35.255, and Nightwing did a 1:35.225. So very close and very competitive still with the lap times as we have it. Irish might try to get her back and get another lap in, I'm not sure. Of course, this is only qualifying 1, everyone, so the basic aim of this qualifying session Q1 here is just to get over into qualifying 2. You do need to make the top 15, of course, to be over into qualifying 2, where you're going to be focused a bit more on tire strategy for the race itself. Hopefully it's a dry race for them, and then we head over to Q. The point will be to get over to Q3 as well in order to get the best possible start within the top 10. So that's the basic focus of the whole qualifying session and what it kind of results in. So that is Jonesy there, 1:39.3, and goes into 15th with that lap time. Let's have a look and see who else currently is running. I think Corey might have finished his current lap. I'm not sure if he's trying to do another lap there or not, but let's have a look at Liam here, who might be finishing up a lap very soon. So let's have a look. I think he actually, no, he's going back into the pits where he's walk on track. Definitely looks like he's trying to do a lap here right now. And from the looks of things, it does seem like the rain is actually starting to ease off, maybe just a little bit here right now. So we might start to see some faster lap times heading over into qualifying 2 if the weather does allow for cars to go on to the intermediate tires to go through that session with them. We got a purple sector 2 coming off of Walker's lap time so far here. So he seems to be doing pretty well so far. Let's see how he finishes off this lap. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the session so far as we have it. Please remember, if you are on with the video here, or if you're on with the live stream itself, please make sure you guys leave a like here. Thank you guys again for joining on with us, and make sure you subscribe to the channel if you are new around here, guys, because we do have a lot of people who tend to watch. I know you haven't subscribed, so do subscribe. We do have a lot of races going on over the course of the week, and we have quite a few new things coming up very soon as well, working towards a few different things in the upcoming few weeks. So might be interesting for you guys as well as viewers to be seeing what's going to be happening. So we'll see how that's going to work. So we're keeping an eye. Walker 135 and 9 right now with him. Let's see how that's going to hold up as he continues on. Actually, currently up to P4 on the grid. And that is an invalidated lap there for Atronax. Gonna have to try that again. We got Nightwing here out on another out lap in the Red Bull, so he's gonna try to get a faster time, and if possible, once he gets into the 134s there with Tango, and show him that, hey, I can get into that lap time range as well, not just do a 125 like everyone else on track. But let's see if he's able to do that. We do expect to get a bit faster further down to the end of the session. Let's have a look at Vintage and Neil here. So Vintage currently started his lap there. He's still in sector 1 and running. We're gonna see how that lap time is gonna go for him as he gets on through this session. Looking so far it's looking so pretty good there in the AlphaTauri. Alright, so we are going to keep an eye on Vintage, era Vintage here, and see if he's able to get good enough lap time in to push himself up into the top 15. Right now he's down in 17 on the grid. Mr. Rage has been disqualified from this qualifying session. I'm not sure what is it he did on track. I would assume probably was going the wrong way on track, or just, I'm not sure, reversing on the track too much or something. There's obviously something that happened in the session that's disqualified him from the session there, and he's going to have to just start down in the back of the grid for the race itself in 19th. And really not too good of a position to be starting in, as Vintage pulls to the side of the track, so he's not going to be finishing that current lap that he has there. I'm not sure what his intention is there right now, just keeping on the grass, getting back on the track right now. Let's get back out front with Nightwing here. Invalidated his lap, as we said. And Tree Slayer, let's see where he's up to at the moment. Running there in Sector 2 at this time. And looks like he's trying to get another time in. Clarky seemed to have joined the session. I hope he joins on to the qualifying session here as well. And that's going to give us a full grid of 20 drivers if he does get on here. So we'll see how that's going to work for us. There is one spot left on the grid to make it a full grid of 20 drivers here. We got a purple sector 2 there coming off of Tree Slayer's car. So he's looking pretty good so far in this qualifying session. Let's see how he finishes the lap though. Does need to transition it to a full lap without actually, you know, exceeding track limits and getting the lap invalidated. He has the final 2 turns to get around here before he's back onto the pit straight where he can get across the line safely and just get a lap in. Let's see if it's going to be a better lap or not. The track seems to be getting a bit faster right now, with rain easing off at 135.499 so far, and he goes across the line, goes faster into second on the grid, 135.011. And remember guys, he did do this now on the intermediate tires, so the track has dried up quite a bit, as you can see some of the cars now on the intermediate tires and running here. So I'm going to switch it back to fit it, as you can see what's happening right now. So everyone in a bit of a rush to get out on track and get their cars onto the intermediate tires to try and get a better lap in. Irish there out on another lap himself. Tango still with his 134.6 that he did on the full wet tires, as it is right now. Quite an impressive lap that he pulled off there on the wets. Let's see if anyone on the intermediates is going to be able to surpass that time that he did there in P1. But so far he's looking pretty good in this qualifying session, even though it's a full wet that session. Vintage is out of the session. Mr. Rage is out. Tango is out. Haywood's out. So we're working with everyone currently left in, and it's just under 1 minute left right now here in qualifying 1 to close off this session. And drivers are definitely on a rush to get across the line to get a lap started right now. As you can see, Irish trying to get around. He is currently in sector 3, so he's going to be making it. Has about 40 plus seconds to get across, and he should be able to make that. Got a few more drivers I think coming behind of him with on their outlaps there as well. So let's go on board right now with Mr. Irish New Potato here and see how his final attempt at a lap here for Q1 is going to be as he gets on the braking zone into turn 1. Going to be quite dangerous through here as we get into the opening lap of the Australian Grand Prix in under about 40 minutes time or so. And getting around to the next turn here. A heavy braking zone getting around here. Does get a bit bunched up as well with a few cars going off track wide, as some do try to take it on the inside, and then we continue on. Two cars do try to get some overtaking done around here as well, and a bit of contact with the wall Irish has there. Hopefully he didn't take any damage to the car as he's trying to keep the car as stable on track as he can here right now on this final hot lap that he's gonna have around the Albert Park circuit, just trying to get a good lap in. Oh, and he loses the car. That is the Williams into the walls at the side of the track, and unfortunate for Irish there, that's going to be it for him for qualifying. He's going to take a run off here back onto the track here, and we're going to switch on over to Atronak here, running a pretty fast lap up there in sector 3. Final lap that he's running here as well. A few more drivers running their final laps. We'll have a look at the qualifying results here for Q1 in just a bit, as the clock has already run out and we're just in the overtime for everyone who's currently running their hot laps. Now they're going to be finishing up pretty soon, so we got Atronak about to get across the line here right now. We can see how slippery it still is on track. We should be running with the intermediates in Q2, and that is the fastest lap in the session there that Atronak just did, a 1:34.071. Quite impressive, ahead of Tango. He goes there now, and Tango out, so not able to try to get a faster time. And Tree Slayer here, is he on a hot lap? And looks like he definitely might be, and coming around. Let's see how that's going to work for him. Looks like our bottom drivers are already out, whoever is going to be out of qualifying 2, but few drivers in the midfield here are trying to get up a better position to go over into qualifying 2 here. Forza Ferrari there joining onto the session. Welcome to him there. He's going to be our 20th driver on the grid, and let's see what position he's going to be starting racing when we do get to that point. Currently he is 12th on the grid with running the lap time. He did a 1:36.663, so not too bad of a time. Trees to the 1:35.011 still has not improved that time. Where is Irish? He's trying to get back to the pits, I assume there. And I think that's about it for our qualifying here, guys. I don't think anyone else is currently running a lap that's going to be finished in terms of anything else. I think it's Miss Irish here that needs to retire after the session so that we can head on over to qualifying 2 at this point here right now. We got about 50 seconds left on the clock if we have to wait for that time. So let's see if Irish is going to go into the pits or just he's going into the pits there. So I think he's just going to go into the pits, and we're going to head on over just after that to qualifying 2. Okay, so here is our results for qualifying 1 here for the Australian Grand Prix. So we got Atronak with the fastest lap in the session there, 1:34.071. Tango won second fastest. Tree Slayer was third. Nightwing was fourth. Irish was fifth. Liam 6th. Sofdar 7th. Koei was 8th. Bradfield 9th. Walker 10th. Mikey 11th. Forza Ferrari 12th. We got Utes there 13. Neil 14. Haywood 15. And that's going to be our 15 drivers heading over to qualifying 2. Starting in 16th is going to be Jonesy there. 17th will be Jose. 18th will be for Clarkey. Vintage is going to start 19th on the grid, and Mr. Rage will have to start 20th on the grid there, unfortunately, because of his disqualification in Q1. We're going to head straight on over right now to qualifying 2. We're going to have drivers going to have 15 minutes to get that session underway and over with, and try to get their times in. Of course, the main focus of qualifying 2 will be that they will have to start the race on the tires that they do their fastest laps on, provided that they make it over to the top 10, and it is a dry race start. Of course, this is a bit more difficult right now to deal with, because in this session we're going to be running with intermediate tires here, as well as have a look what tires they're going to be running on. Yep, they are going to be running on the intermediate tires here, because it is still a bit of a drizzle on track, which means that rule is going to be void for the race session. They will all be allowed to choose whatever tires they want to start the race on. If it's going to be a dry session, if it's going to be wet, well, they have to choose accordingly to that. So let's see who's going to be the first to get out on track here in qualifying 2. The clock has already started, 30 seconds down on it already, and we're just waiting for the first driver to get out. And we're going to see some lap times coming here very, very shortly as well. I really don't think that's going to take too long, so let's have a look and see who is going to get out on track. I think someone is getting out. Second car I see getting out there right now. We got Prix as the first driver in the Racing Point getting out on track to lead the rest of them here right now. So we're going to have a look on track as he gets out to see how bad it is out there right now in terms of track conditions right now. And it's still quite drizzling out there, but should give enough grip for them to try and get some fast times in on the track. Hopefully it gets dry by the time we get over to qualifying 3. We're going to see if the rain fully eases off at that point. But for right now, it's still drizzling and it's still coming down. But so we still have to deal with that as we get on through with this session here. Okay, so we got a Tree Slayer getting started on his hot lap here right now. We're going to follow with him for just a bit. Cool, he has the wet tires on his car, but he'll probably make a switch to that as he sees everyone else is still on the intermediates and running in this session here right now. So let's see how that's going to go. It does seem to be drizzling still just about the same as it was in qualifying 1 at the end of that session. So I think we're hoping, or the drivers are actually hoping, that it does, the rain does ease off as we head on to the end of this qualifying session. And hopefully in Q3, we're going to just have a full dry session. That's going to be a 12-minute long session, so we're going to see how that one is going to go by the time we get to that session there. But for now, we're going to have to deal with a bit of rain. Well, the drivers are going to have to deal with a bit of rain here right now. We have quite a few drivers out on hot laps there right now, coming behind Tree Slayer there, so we're going to start to see some very, very interesting lap times, and see how this is all going to go by the time the session comes to an end, and how competitive everyone's going to get, since everyone's going to be running on the intermediate tires here. And I think we have Tree Slayer about to come to the end of this lap here very shortly, and there's about 2 or 3 turns more to go on the lap there. A few more drivers getting on out laps there as well. So it's going to be very interesting to see where everyone places on the track as they get across the line. So Tree Slayer goes across, and let's see how fast he goes. He does a 1:32.6 right now. Really a pretty good time there. See who's going to get across the line here right now. Where is Atronak on track? And I think he might be getting across the line next. And Atronac does goes across with a 132.7. So we're getting quite competitive with the lap times as it is here right now. So let's see who is going to be next getting across. And that was Utes there at 147. Not the best of lap. We got a Racing Point. I think that's probably Neil. Oh, and he's getting back into the pits. And that was Softar going across with a 133.8. He goes third fastest in the session there. Renault just went across. That's Liam at 151. Not the best of time so far. I think we got Haywood and who else is coming around right now? So Nightwing is coming around on an outlap. We got Haywood coming around on an outlap, and I think Forza Ferrari coming around on an outlap here as well. Walker seems to be on a hot lap in the Renault one running. His teammate Liam just did a 151.5. A horrible lap at this point. Sorry, but it is at this point. I don't think he had a good lap there. You just have to try and get a good one in. As it is here right now, we're still waiting for a few more lap times to come in. We got just about 5 drivers in so far with lap times, and 2 quite competitive there with those both 132s that we have. Haywood out of the qualifying session, unfortunately, so Archanac second. Softar currently third, a pretty good time for him as well. Utes and Liam will need to improve their time. We got Walker going across the line here right now, and he goes fourth fastest at 133.9, a 10th slower than Softar, so the two of them seem to be pretty close off with their lap time so far. So it's looking good on that end. So let's have a look at the rest of the field that we do have. Nightwing should be on a hot lap running here right now, and he is. So let's see how that's going to go for him. My apologies about being disconnected there for a second, guys. Just need to get something. So we're back on again here. Let's have a look at what's been happening. So Nightwing went fastest there, 131.8 in the session. So not too bad for me. Atronax still second fastest with that. Now Softar third fastest. Tree Slayer fourth. Walker in fifth. Bradfield sixth. And they're moving down just a bit more. As Irish now goes second fastest, 132.1. Not too bad of a time, actually quite impressive. 2/10 faster than Atronac there. Nightwing though, quite an impressive time he's done into the 131s on these tires as we're currently running here with on track. We got Tango here running a current hot lap. Let's have a look at him in the McLaren. I'm probably going to go on board with him for this lap and see how he goes on through. We're trying to have a look at the conditions on the track as well to see how difficult it is out there right now. As you can see, it is still quite difficult out there on track. Braking though seems to be pretty well for his McLaren, as he braked pretty well getting around into that turn. That was a heavy braking zone there. Has to keep this car as stable as possible getting through the lap and avoid losing the rear at all costs at this point here. And that is an invalidated lap there for Tango. Went a little bit too much on that curve. Alright, so let's have a look who else currently is running. I think we got Neil running on lap here as well. Out in front, probably Tree Slayer trying to run on lap. Let's have a look here right now. If he is, he just might be. But let's go back down to Neil and see what's going on with him. And he goes across the line into P9 at 1:34.9. Not too bad of a time. Let's see how that's going to hold up to the end of the session. Mikey and the Mercedes about to finish off a lap here right now. Forza Ferrari coming just behind of him. So let's have a look at these two guys as they're about to get across the line. And let's see where they're going to go. Down the pit straight goes Mikey here right now in the Mercedes. And he's going to go across the line. Let's see where he goes on the grid. Goes up to P8, 1:33.4. And we got Forza Ferrari going back into the pits there right now. Tango, they're probably going to try another lap. I'm not sure that's going to work for him there. Let's see what that's going to do. Tree Slayer back into the pits there as well. We got Utes and Koi here, both on out laps right now. So let's see how these two are going to get along out on track as they're, we got Utes about to get started on his hot lap here in the Haas. Let's have a look on track again. So still quite a drizzle out there on track. Still need those intermediate tires. It doesn't seem to be getting anywhere close off to conditions on track where we could, you know, just switch on to dry tires and get some really fast lap times in here at Australia. But let's see how qualifying 3 is going to go, guys. We got about 4 minutes left here in qualifying 2. At the end of this, we're only going to have our top 10 drivers go over into the qualifying 3 session, and they're going to be battling out for the fastest possible laps to get the best possible starting positions on the grid for the start of the Australian Grand Prix coming up very, very soon. So we're definitely looking forward to that start to see what it's going to be like, and I think it's going to be a dry session. I'm not 100% sure about that, but we'll see how that goes. I'll probably have a look in the Discord to see if any comments are made about the weather, so at least we can have an idea about that. Once again, welcome to everyone who is currently joining on to our stream, watching our video, wherever you're watching from. Welcome, good evening, good afternoon, wherever it is from. I'm not sure, it's still afternoon for me. I know it's the evening for a lot of you guys there over in Europe. Here in the US, it's still about like 3:10 p.m. in the afternoon for me, so different time zone. Still works pretty well for doing the streams for me. And yeah, so guys, just make sure you guys leave a like on the stream for us, and literally takes us less than a second for you guys to do that. Just make sure you hit like on the stream, and if you're new onto our channel, if you haven't done so already, please make sure that you guys subscribe. It does help us out a lot in terms of, you know, building our audience and whatnot. And remember, there is a link in the description of the video to join onto our channel Discord, so please feel free to do that as well. So let's have a look here right now. UTS 1:35.192. Could he possibly improve on that time that he's doing there? He does improve by 1 position at 1:34.6 right now. Goes up a position there. Koi on a lap here right now. We're going to see where he goes when he does come to the end of that current lap. Forza Ferrari on another out lap there. We're going to have a look on board with him in just a bit. And we got Koi doing a fastest purple sector 1 so far. So let's see what the sector 2 time is going to go. And it looks like Tango now gets the fastest time in the session at 1:31.7, a 10th faster than Nightwing, who has a 1:31.8. And then Tree Slayer now third fastest in the session at 1:32.144. Irish fourth fastest at 1:32.158, 100th of a second time difference there. Pretty impressive between these guys. Atronak fifth fastest in the session at 1:32.3, 2:10 slower than Irish. Sofdar in 6th right now, 1:32.4, 10 slower. Liam there. Oh, Kohi goes 7th right now, pushes Liam down. He's 7th at a 1:32.465, 100th of a second slower than Sofdar. Liam 1:32.6 right now. That's 2:10 slower than Koi's time. Mikey another 2:10 slower there at 1:32.8 into 9th on the grid. Walker in the final position to go over to qualifying 3, 10th right now, 1:32.857, 500th of a second slower than Mikey's time. He needs to get himself out of that drop zone if he wants to have a good time in Forza Ferrari without a lap time as well. Let's have a look on board with him in the AlphaTauri right now as he's getting around the track. already past sector 1 into sector 2. Let's see how the lap is going to go for him, if he's able to finish off the lap and potentially get a faster time right now. And Bradfield down in the drop zone there with a 134.068. Neil already out of the session. Haywood out. Utez a very bad lap for him, 134.6. Well, already a bad lap, but still it's not going to be able to push him over into the next session there. So only top 10 going over. We got just under 20 seconds right now left here in qualifying 2. We're having a look and see how the graded order is going to change as these guys finish their current laps that they're currently running on. I'm going to get to see where our top 10 stand as they're about to get over into qualifying 3 at this point. And let's see if it's looking good for Forza Ferrari here or not. I know the grid order is changing up just a bit as we're watching on here with him, and he goes into 12th only with a 134.071. Will not get a chance to make another lap, so that's going to be it for him. Utez not doing a very good lap there, so that's going to be it for him there as well. And I see Walker did a final attempt at the lap and actually went faster, went into 5th with a 132.1. So he's going to make it over into qualifying 3 at this point here right now. So it looks like from the looks of things, it looks like we're going to have Mikey starting 11th on the grid. Forza Ferrari will have to start 12. Neil will have to start 13. Utez will have to start 14. And Haywood will have to start 15th on the grid. On our top 10 as we have there right now, we're going to have a look at the final results coming up in just a bit. We got Irish probably on the final lap here in the session, and the only driver that's left on the final lap, so we're gonna have to wait for him to get across the line. And then we're gonna be advancing over to qualifying 3, and we'll see how the guys perform down in that session. Hopefully the rain is a little bit less and we might get to use the track with the dry tires in that session. We'll see how it goes. Alright, so he's about to go across the line here, 131.992. Will he improve on that time? And I'm not sure if he did. He was about P3, I think. So let's have a look. Alright, so let's have a look at the qualifying 2 results right now, and it did not improve on that time. So Tango there, fastest in the qualifying 2 session, did a 131.7. 10 slow, we had Nightwing there, second fastest at 131.8. Third fastest was Tree Slayer there with a 131.9, just a tenth off of each other, as we can see how close that is. Irish fourth fastest in the session, Walker 5th, Kohi went 6th, Liam 7th, Atronak 8th, Bradfield 9th, and that's going to be our 9 drivers going over to qualifying 3, I'm afraid there. So Safdar out of qualifying 3. Unfortunately for him, he's going to be starting in 10th, with Mikey starts 11th. Forza Ferrari will start 12th. We got Neil starting 13th, and Utez starts 14th. Haywood will have to start 15th on the grid, and we're heading straight on over right now to qualifying 3, where it might still have a little bit drizzle on track. Let's have a look here right now as that session is about to load, and hopefully the guys can start to get some more faster times in, because it's going to be a bit more competitive. And there we have it, guys. It is a dry session for qualifying 3, and something we've been looking forward to just a bit throughout the session so far. I know everyone's going to be running on those soft tires, and they're looking forward to that as well, because I think their setups are mostly for a dry race. So we're gonna see how this is gonna work out here right now. We already got drivers already set to get out on track. That is a Renault of Walker getting out very early on track here. We only got 12 minutes here in the qualifying 3 session, so they're not gonna waste any time. They're gonna be in a rush to get out on track and get these laps going, just in case they do invalidate any laps at any point here. So we're gonna see how this is about to work out. It's gonna be quite interesting. Oh, and that's Walker losing the car already. The front wing is gone. He's gonna have to try that once again. No one else getting out on track right now as yet. We're waiting for a second driver to get out on track. So Walker losing time right now. He's gonna have to get around the track, get back into the pits, and then get out again after a change of front wing, and then try to get a lap in. That's gonna be unfortunate for him. Corey here, is he out? No, he's not out as yet. Let's have a look. Atronak on an out lap right now as he's getting out here, and he's gonna get his out lap started and then get this hot lap going. We got I think the racing point of Tree Slayer is about to get out on track here as well, and quite surprising, everyone is not in a bit of hurry to get out on track and try to get their laps in for a qualifying 3. So let's see what's gonna happen. I mean, the worst possible start you're gonna get here is P9. Of course, if you do get some sort of 5 place grid penalty because of something stupid you did on track, then that's going to push you down maybe a bit further down. But highly doubt that should be happening with these guys in the session here. So let's see how this plays on through. So 3 drivers currently out on track. We know Walker has to go back into the pits and get his front wing changed up before he is even ready to get a lap going here, because I don't know what happened, that he lost the rear of the car right at the exit of turn 1 there and went straight into the barriers on the side of the track, losing the front wing. So we're waiting right now for Atronak and Trisler to get their laps going. And we can see Atronak is coming to the end of Sector 3 right now, so he's about to get that hot lap started, and let's have a look with him and see how well that lap is about to go here. And we're going to stay on board with him as he gets on through this lap to see how good this is going to work. Tango getting out of the pits there right now to try and get an out lap going. Alright, so everything will be in the purple here for Atronak. Remember, it is the first car to set a lap on track. Still a bit cloudy overhead, as we can see there right now from the rain that we have down in qualifying 1 and qualifying 2. Hopefully it does come back around here in the race, or maybe it might come back around depending on what's going to happen. We'll see if that works out, but we're still waiting on right now. Oh, and almost. Oh, indeed, he did lose it. He did lose the lap. I did feel like he was going to go a little bit too wide on that curve, and he lost the lap there. So Atronak invalidated that current lap. It's going with Trisler right now. See how his lap is going. They do need to be very careful going over that curve. But let's see how Trisler gets across it here right now. Has a much better go at it, not going too wide. I think went just a little bit too much on it there by a few inches at least on that side of the track, but lost that lap unfortunately, and this seemed like it was going to be a pretty good lap getting around here. So we'll see where we stand with lap times right now, using the full dry tires as it is, because everyone's going to be on the softs getting around. We're going to see who's the next driver to come around, set a lap time. Might be Tango there as he's getting around right now. So let's have a look as Trisler goes across the line, and where does he go in the grid? Fastest, of course, with a 1:23.8 right now. We got Tango. He is currently still getting around Sector 1 here right now, but he will be the second driver to get a lap in. Walker already back out on track after repairing his front wing damage, which he took on his out lap, getting out on the start of qualifying 3 here. So he's back out on track, getting an out lap going there right now. We'll be getting started with that lap pretty soon. Irish and Nightwing not getting out of the pits as yet. Not sure what's made that decision, sticking their head for now, but I guess they're waiting for the track to just get off the temperature a bit for them from the other drivers here. So we'll get a bit more rubber in, and they'll get out on track by the time we get down to about 5 minutes. But they'll probably just have like one possible lap to set, and hopefully not invalidate that current lap that we're going to be doing there as well. We'll see how it goes for them. So we have Bradfield on a lap here behind. He just already saw that he's in Sector 1 with that. We got Tango is about to finish his current lap, and then we're going to switch on over to Bradfield and have a look on how his lap is currently going and see how fast he's going to be going on track. Tango goes across the line here right now. Goes fastest in this session. Provisional pole for him so far, 1:23.6. And that's a pretty good time. I'm going on with Bradfield right now. Purple Sector 1 from this guy so far. So he's doing pretty well on that sector. Let's see how the Sector 2 time is going to go. Does need to get that in the purple as well. Remember guys, the main aim is going to be getting a potential provisional pole start here for the Australian Grand Prix, and because it's going to be the best possible place to be, and getting down to the run into turn 1 at the race start. We're going to see how that's going to work out for drivers, as we got 6 minutes right now left here in qualifying 3. We're getting down to the wire on this one. So Gonna be very interesting to see. Walker now goes fastest. Provisional pole for him now. 1:23.1 in the session. 5/10 faster than Tango, so quite impressive from the Renault driver there. His teammate Liam on a hot lap there. We're gonna have a look at him as well after we finish off. Bradfield goes across the line faster than Walker now. 1:22.4. Very impressive lap coming off of Bradfield there. Walker's gonna have to up his game here to try and improve himself against that. Let's go on down to Liam. I know Kohi probably on the lap as well. Liam just did a purple sector 2, so he seems to be on for a pretty good lap as well as his teammate just did. So let's see if he can top Bradfield right now with his 1:22.4 that he did. Sorry, and Tango tops him. Go 1:21.9. We're getting much faster on track here right now. This might be why some two drivers were waiting to get up on track. The track is getting a bit faster as we go. So 1:21.9, fastest lap in the session, and Liam only goes second fastest right now. He would have gotten ahead of Bradfield though at 1:22.1, and Corey now goes second fastest, pushes the rest of the grid down. 1:22.035, a tenth faster than Liam, but Tango there fastest time in the session. Provisional pole for him so far. We got Nightwing on a hot lap here and running in the Red Bull in sector 1. He's going around right now. Let's see how he's going to get around with that time. Irish New Potato still into the pits there right now, not getting on track as yet. We got Atronak there on an out lap. We're going to see when he gets started on the next lap. Let's see how that's going to go for him. But getting very, very interesting here in qualifying 3. I would have loved to see if we had a full dry session, how it's going to be, guys. We did have a wet qualifying 1, a wet qualifying 2, and still yet it was quite competitive between the lap times that we had coming down to the end of those sessions, even though the way it was. So quite a different scenario for each qualifying session. We were on with the full wet tires in qualifying 1, we were on with intermediate tires in qualifying 2, and now we're on with the full dry tires here in qualifying 3. And Nightwing just invalidated that lap. He just threw that away, and that was seeming like it was going to be a pretty good lap. We're going to go on with Atronak here. He's about to get started on his hot lap. We got 3 minutes 40 seconds left here in qualifying 3, and it's getting pretty intense out there on track. So still, as we have it, fastest lap on the session here is 1:21.9. That was done by Tango there. He currently holds on to a provisional pole start here for the Australian Grand Prix at Albert Park. Going to be quite an interesting start as well, with Corey just behind now right here. He's second, 1:22.035. Liam there third fastest in the session, 1:22.145. Only a tenth down from that. Bradfield another 3/10 down, and we got purple sector 1 coming off of Atronak so far. Walker currently P5, 1:23.1. Tree Slayer 7/10 down from that, and he's on another out lap right now trying to improve that time as well. So we're definitely getting to a point where it's going to be quite close between our top 10 getting over to the start. That is a purple sector 2 so far from Atronak. And that turn he just came off, they have to be careful around there. If they do get onto that curb too much, you can possibly lose the rear of the car and throw the entire car into the barriers on the right hand side of the track, and that is race over for the session for you if that does happen in the race. We got Atronak about to get across on the start finish straight here right now. He's going to get around to that. And let's see, he's going to go across the line. How fast does Atronak go right now? Fastest in the session at 1:20.047. We're getting way faster. Insane lap time coming off of Atronak there right now. Can we have anybody tap that at this point here right now? And we might possibly see that happen. We got Tango on an out lap back already. He's going to try one more time to improve himself against that. We still got Irish and Nightwing into the pits. They're watching on right now with what's happening on track. Tree Slayer invalidated the current lap that he's running here. Let's see who else currently is running a lap. We do have Bradfield trying to get on another out lap here right now, and I think he is going to be getting on that pretty soon. Tree Slayer just finishing off that lap there currently because he's invalidated that. Got a minute and a half left here in qualifying 3, guys, and it's getting quite interesting. Irish New Potato and Nightwing are on their out laps. They're going to give this one go on track, and I think it's going to be very interesting to see how that's going to work for the two of them. And where are they on track right now? Looks like Nightwing will be the first one to get started on a hot lap. We're going to follow on with these two guys and see what's going to happen. As we have it here right now, Atronak fastest in the session, holds on to provisional pole, 1:20.047. Tango second fastest, 1:21.9. Corey third fastest, fastest 122.035 as we have it. A bit of a few tenths between these three drivers as we have it. But going down to the rest of the grid, fourth fastest so far 122.1 there from Liam. Bradfield 122.4 in fifth. Walker 123.1 in sixth. And Treesler 123.8 in seventh as we have it right now. So very, very impressive lap times as they are. Switching back over to Nightwing right now in the Red Bull as he's about to get started on a hot lap here. Okay, so let's see how Nightwing's lap time are gonna go. He's about to get across the line very soon for getting into Sector 2, so we're gonna see how that goes. Astronaut is finished with the session. The clock has already counted out the time here for qualifying through into a bit of overtime right now. So Astronaut finished off his lap. That's a 120.047. That's going to be a provisional pole start for him if no one beats that time. We'll see how it works because everyone, oh, Tango is out, so he's going to hold on to second place if he does stay that way. Coheed, Liam, and Walker and Treesler all on out as Bradfield into the pit, so he's not going to be doing another lap. Stuck there with his 122.4. Irish and Nightwing on laps here right now. This is going to be impressive. That's a purple sector 2 off of Nightwing so far. We do have Irish coming just behind of him, so we're going to see how well these two finish their laps and where they place on the grid as we get off to the end of qualifying 3 here right now. Koei improves the time, goes fastest in the session with his final lap, a 1:19.741. Insane lap time coming off of these guys right now. We're going to see how this is going to work as we get Nightwing about to go across the line here right now. Where does he go? Second fastest, splits between Koei and Atronak, 1:20.020. Irish goes fourth fastest, 1:22.03 so far. 1:20s and more even coming around right now. Walker goes 1:20.3 as well. So let's see how that stacks up at the end. But very, very impressive lap times coming off of these guys here from PGL Wednesday division so far. So let's have a look right now at our grid. So as we have it, Koei has provisional pole start. He's starting P1 in this race at 1:19.7. Incredible lap time from him. We got Nightwing second fastest here and 1:20.020. So he's going to start second in the race. We got Atronak is going to start third at 1:20.047. 200 of a second time difference between the two of them. Then a 10th. Slower than that was Treesler in fourth. And Iris starts fifth with a 1:22.03. A 10 slow. We got Liam starting 6th there, 1:20.3. We got Walker starting 7th. Tango starts 8th. Bradfield will start 9th there on the grid. Very impressive lap times coming off of these guys. Very fast as well. And I think it's going to be very competitive for the race start. Hopefully everyone gets a pretty good start and doesn't have any contact on the opening lap, which we're about to get to see very, very soon here right now. So let's have a look on how that race start is about to go and get through the formation lap, get through the entire grid. As we have it, and then get to that race start and hopefully have a clean and interesting race with a lot of battles in it for us to follow. That's going to be a lot of fun to watch. It's very sunny out in the race session here, as you can see, so full dry session for that. We're looking forward to that as well. Once again, guys, thank you for everyone who has joined onto the stream with us. If you're new on here, please make sure that you do subscribe to the channel. If you haven't done so already, please make sure you do it. Make sure you leave a like on the video. It does help us out a lot. Really appreciate all of you guys joining on the stream and watching this race live here with us. Okay, so we're getting started on the formation lap here right now. It's going to be a 29 race around the Albert Park circuit here for the Australian Grand Prix. I'm going to get a few details up on screen right now and see what's happening on track. Okay, so let's have a look at our full grid as we have it there right now. So we got Koi is gonna start P1 in this race. Nightwing's gonna start second. Atronax starting third on the grid. Tree Slayer starting fourth. We got Irish New Potato starting fifth. Liam starts sixth. Walker starts seven. Just behind his teammate Tango starts 8, Bradfield starts 9, Softdog will start 10, Mikey will start 11, Forza Ferrari will start 12, Neil will start 13, Utes will start 14, Haywood will start 15, Jonesy is going to start 16, Jose is going to start 17th, Vintage will start 18th, Mr. Rage is going to start 19th, and Clarky there starting 20th on the grid. We can see a range of different strategies that these guys do plan to use in a race. We have some drivers on the medium, some on the softs, and just a minor amount, about 2 drivers running on the hard tires, one at the front of the grid and one down at the back of the grid. So going to be very interesting to see how that strategy is going to work for them in the race session itself as well. We're getting down to sector 3 here right now. So what we're going to do here, guys, we're going to put this on position changes. You guys can have a look at that as we get on through with the start of the race there. But out in front is quite interesting, as we can see Kohi and Atronac P1, P3 for the start of this race. Both Alfa Romeos there, and between of them we do have a Red Bull stuck in the middle. That Red Bull is going to have to be very, very careful with Atronac behind of him, because these guys could be working together to try to make sure both cars can go P1, P2 on the grid and hopefully finish the race at that point on the podium there the same way. We're going to see how that works out for them, as we have Kohi taking his place back onto a grid slot there right now, and we're about ready to get started here with the Australian Grand Prix. Okay, so we're about ready to get started here right now. We're going to stay on board with, I don't know why that leaderboard is getting mixed up. We're going to stay on board with Nightwing here. Okay, so let's go. Lights are about to start to go out, and we're on board with Nightwing right now. Let's see who gets a better start between him and Kohi. Going down to get a bit of an equal start, but Kohi seems to be going ahead just a bit. We're going to have a look at the entire grid as they're about to get a wrong turn 1. Let's see if we're going to have any major incidents as we get on through. Trying to have a look at the entire grid getting wrong, because usually we do have incidents happening down in the back of the grid, and we got the Racing Point might have a bit of an incident there as he slows on down. We do see maybe some carbon fiber flying around the back. I'm not sure. That's a lot of leaves to see seeing through as well. Trying to have a look at the rest of the grid. Oh, we got 2 cars sliding around there right now. A Red Bull and a Racing Point, and I think that was Nightwing in the Red Bull. I'm not sure who was in the Racing Point sliding around. Probably was Neil. Let's have a look. Was it him there? I'm trying to have a look right now. I'm not 100% sure if it was Neil sliding around, but he did have some trouble, or might have been Tree Slayer. Who knows at this point here right now. But as it is here right now, guys, everyone has gotten through the 4th sector of the track. We're in sector 2 and running, about to get into sector 3 right now, and all 20 drivers are still on grid and running. Out in front, Kohi leads the grid with Atronac now up into 2nd behind his teammate, and it's a 1-2 for Alfa Romeo running in the race so far, which they are definitely looking forward to. So they accomplished that at this point so far. And we got one driver out. That is a Mercedes out. That is a Mercedes of Mikey out. And I think he might have lost the rear. I'm not sure if he had contact with anyone, but if he came up that turn a bit too much onto the curb, you do lose the rear and go straight into the wall. That might have been what happened, or it could have been that he had contact with another car. But that, either way, that's going to be a full safety car for that incident there right now. And we can have a look. Nightwing was one of the drivers that lost quite a few positions on the race start. He did get spun around just a little bit and then got back on track. I'm not sure who the Racing Point was, if that was Neil or not, or was that Tree Slayer. Might have been Tree Slayer, because he's down 6 positions there as well. We got a few pit stops are going to happen here at this point in the race, and as it is, guys, we are now into lap 2 of the race of 29 under a safety car. Still wouldn't be going back racing by the time we get to lap 4, hopefully here right now. We're gonna put telemetry on, even though we don't really need that on at this point. So let's take that out. There is a predicted race stop strategy for the pit stops, and we mostly do expect a one-stop strategy for this race. Either way, I'm not sure what was showing on that screen, but just ignore that for now. Let's have a look at tires, as what these guys are changing on to when they do go into the pits there right now. But so far, it's looking pretty good. We only lost just 1 driver, and I'm not sure if that was driver error or that was an incident between 2 drivers or not. Neil getting a 5-second penalty there, probably for hitting the car in front of him. I'm not sure what that was for, but yet unfortunate for that. We're still going to continue on with this race here right now. 19 drivers still in it and are ready to go. I'm quite surprised we didn't have a safety car or VSC on the first turn of the race, usually where most of the incidents tend to happen, but it did happen just a bit after that down there in sector 2. A bit dangerous for that as well. So let's continue on with this. So currently, as we have it, Coy still leads this race. Atronac now up into second. Liam running in third. Irish running in fourth. Walker up to fifth there. Sofdar 6th. Tango 7. Bradfield 8th. Forza Ferrari running in 9th. Treesler in 10th. And that's our top 10 closing off so far. Haywood running 11th. Clarkey up to 12 right now on the grid. Utez in 13. Jose 14. Vintage 15. We got Neil in 16. Mr. Rage running 17. Nightwing all the way down to 18. Jonesy there in 19. And we got Mikey is currently out of this race, unfortunately, for that incident earlier on with him. But we're going to continue with our race. We got both Renaults running pretty high up in the grid there as well. Third and fifth is where Liam and Walker are at, so they're trying to challenge off, I guess, the Alfa Romeos out front. But these guys running pretty well. They're doing a P1, P2 position in this race, and I think they're going to try to hold that to the end of the race if they can. But of course, Liam, Irish, and Walker, Sofdar, Tango, Bradfield, Forza Ferrari, Treesler, all of these guys down behind. Haywood, Crocky, I don't think any of them are going to allow it. So we're going to see how they all get on through. They're all very fast drivers, so this could go either way. Atronac is going to be under the most pressure here right now, though. Kohi will be able to get away pretty well, but Atronac is going to struggle a bit to keep these guys behind of him to allow his teammate to get away. I don't know what sort of strategy these two are going to be playing at, but definitely something is in the mix here right now with these guys running P1, P2 in this race. We're going to see how it works out. Vintage there with the only penalty in the race so far as it is. We're on lap 3 going. Hopefully at the end of this lap we can have that safety car go back into the pits and we can get back to racing, because that's basically what we're here to see right now. No one loves to see the safety car out on track, but we do have incidents that, you know, that happen in the race, and these things do happen. It's something caused by driver error. It's something caused by drivers fighting for positions and causing incident as well. But that's what we do have race stewards in the league. They do tend to deal with that after the race is actually over, and incidents do get taken care of. That's why sometimes we see drivers getting a race ban or a quali ban in the next races because of something that happened in a previous race. Drivers would report them, and race stewards deal with that and award the penalty as needed in terms of that. And there we go. We have the safety car is going to come in on this lap, guys, so we're looking forward to get back to some racing here right now. Both Alfa Romeos running P1, P2. Both Renaults running P3, P5, with Irish New Potato in the Williams in the middle of this race. Now his teammate Bradfield is down there in 8th, so still not too far down, but we'll see how that works out. Sofdar in the Ferrari running in 6th. His teammate, I think, Jonesy down there in 18th. Not too well between the two of them as it is right now. McLaren drivers are spaced off a bit as well. Tango in 7th and Mr. Rage there in 16th on the grid. One Mercedes out and the next one running in 14th only, so we'll see how that's going to go. We're about to get back racing here right now. Down into turn 1, everyone's about to head. The Alfa Romeo drivers are getting a bit of a head start as they get on wrong down that. Irish chasing after the Renault of Liam here right now, trying to get the position up on him if he can. Tango gets a 3-second penalty. Now let's see who has a close gap. Sofdar very close after Walker. He's trying to pull alongside Walker. Is going to take him into the next turn and pushes on through there side by side. They might have some minor contact, I'm not sure. Walker pushes it back, gets back his position P5, and he continues on right there. Sofdar has to settle down for 6. Tango getting very close up behind him in the McLaren there, and let's see if he's able to get a position up. He's looking for a gap to go with, but not able to find one as yet, but still keeping very close as he continues on. Atronac and his teammate about 7/10 between the two of them out in front, and they're running pretty well. They're building a gap against Liam and the Renault, 1.9 seconds. Oh, and we got a Ferrari. We got Sofdar into the wall down the side of the track. I didn't see if he had in contact with anyone. He might have just lost the rear of the car. I'm not 100% sure what happened there. That's going to be a yellow flag for now, because I don't think he's totally out of the race. I think he just broke off his front wing. But unfortunate for the Ferrari driver there and his teammate down there in 18th. They're not having a good day here, Ferrari, for some reason. it might not be a favorite track for either of the drivers, I'm not sure. But let's continue on with this race as we have it. So Irish now up, chasing after Liam. He has about 5 tenths between them as they get around the pit straight. We'll be having DRS come online pretty soon as we're now into lap 5. Now they're going to have that advantage to them, so let's see how that's going to work when that comes online. Liam coming under a bit of pressure right now out in front. Of course, his teammate being of no help right now. Walker has to catch up a bit to Irish here, but he's actually catching up, my bad. He's actually catching up 5 tenths behind. He's coming behind to help out his teammate at this point here right now. So let's see that that's going to work up. I'm not sure what strategy is Renault going to be playing here, guys. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts about this, because it could be that Liam might actually plan to hold up Irish and have Walker catch up to him and probably get an overtake done, and then both Renaults might decide to disappear into the distance away from him. It could be a potential strategy play here for them, for the team. I'm not sure how fair it would be, but you know, it could be something they might actually think about if they're actually in communication with each other in a separate party chat during the race here right now, because Irish is stuck between two Renault drivers, and that's really not a good place for him to be at this point in the race. As we can see down in the back, Jonesy and Jose switching positions there for 16th place in the race right now. I'm trying to have a look where our closer gaps at. Out in front, we got the Alfa Romeo drivers chasing after each other right now. And Kohei still leads the race there. Atronak about 8 tenths behind his teammate, and both of them doing pretty well, because Liam is now 3.4 seconds behind. He's losing time to these guys, and Walker and Irish are not going to be happy about this. Irish is going to want to get ahead. DRS is now online. We're going to have some fun seeing that. Oh, and Walker is out of the race. What's happened to his car on the pit straight? Walker is out of the race. I'm not sure if he had contact with anyone, but he is unfortunately out. That car looks like he went into the pit wall itself, and the safety car is going to come out for that. We got a full safety car for that incident. Unfortunate for Walker. Let's have a look, see if we can have a look at that car once again. I don't think we'll be able to see it once again. I think he probably disappeared from track by now. So let's get on back out in front. And Kohei has a penalty. What does he have a penalty for? Is that for speeding under the safety car? I'm not sure. It has a 3-second penalty. That's probably for track limits there. So 3-second penalty. Oh, and both Alfa Romeos have penalties. This is not going well for them. That safety car just caused some real struggle for these guys. 3-second penalty for both Alfa Romeo drivers right now. Liam and Irish both with 5-second penalties. I think they got their penalty for speeding under the safety car is what they got their penalties for. I don't want to switch off the screen, so we're going to leave that for now. And we're going to have to follow on with another safety car that's been caused by Walker's incident there. I'm not sure if Walker had contact with another car or just lost the rear getting around to the pit straight and ended up in the pit walls itself. But took some extensive damage on that Renault. Unfortunate, and he was running so well in this race. Both Renaults were. Now Liam is the only Renault left running in the race right now. Alright guys, so sorry about that. I was just trying to bring up, and we do have a few pit stops happening because of that safety car caused by Walker's incident there. So let's have a look right now at the driver standings and the constructor standings for PGL F1 Wednesday division. We're just going to cut some time behind the safety car right now. So, unfortunate for Renault losing Walker from this race, because right now we have the Renault team leading the Constructors' Championship with their 286 points as it is right now. Racing Point is in second with 283 points. It's a 3-point difference, and we got both Racing Points still in this race. Tree Slayer running in the points, Liam running in the points for Renault. Of course, the next Racing Point, Neil, is down in 17, so no points for him. So it's going to be all up to Liam and Tree Slayer at this point in the race to decide what's going to happen with the Constructors' Championship between Renault and Racing Point. It's only a 3-point difference. Renault needs to continue leading, so Liam needs to finish ahead of Tree Slayer in this race in terms of getting more points. So we're going to see how that works out. Then we got Williams there third with 166 points. They need a lot more points to get up there, and of course that is for Bradfield and Irish to decide what's going to happen with that there. Then we got Alfa Romeo running fourth, and both of them trying to get points in this race. They're running fourth with 91 points so far in the championship. Haas currently fifth with 76 points. Then we got McLaren sixth right now with 75 points. It's a 1 point difference between Haas and McLaren. Mercedes down to seventh right now with 61 points. Then we got the Ferrari team in eighth right now, 38 points. Red Bull not doing so well, ninth right now with only 2 points. So we'll see if Nightwing is going to make a difference to that in this race. Haywood running 11th. He might get into the points there as well. AlphaTauri right now only with 1 point. And we got Forza Ferrari dropping one of the AlphaTauris right now tonight. Hopefully he's able to make some point. Vintage in the next AlphaTauri. Hopefully he's able to get into the points as well. We'll see how it works for them though. I'm not sure. And also let's have a look at our Drivers' Championship standings as we have it here right now for the Wednesday division as well. Tree Slayer currently leads that championship for that with 187 points, and he's still running in this race. So let's see what happens after that. Walker, unfortunately, out of the race. He's second in the driver standings with 150 points, and he very much needed much more points in this session here, because now Liam is third with 136 points, and Liam is running second in the race at this point here right now. Then we have Clarky there, P4 so far in the championship, 92 points. Bradfield, 5th in the championship, 81 points I think it is. We have Corey, 6th in the championship, 77 points. Irish New Potatoes, 7th in the championship, 71 points. Beefy currently 8th in the championship with 68 points. Then we got Mikey there, 9th in the championship with 53 points, and he's out of this session. Mr. Rage currently 10th with 38 points as we have it. Tango there currently 11th with 37 points. We got Ethan currently 12th with 37 points. I don't think he's racing here today. Maddie there 13th with 14 points. Rourke 14th with 14 points. We got Jose 15th with 8 points. Rossi there 16, 6 points. Neil 17, 4 points. Q Formula 18, 2 points. I think there's 2 more drivers after that, 1 points each. So really and truly it's going to be interesting to see how this race finishes off, and hopefully everyone is able to who needs to gain points will be getting their points here. But it's going to be interesting. I think we should have the safety car going by the end of this lap. I'm going to have a look at that in just a bit here. Okay, so I think the safety car is going to be going in on this lap. Looks like that's the case here right now as he's going off into the distance there already. So let's get on out in front of the grid right now with Liam and Atronak. Atronak currently leading the race, because race leader Cole, he did do a pit stop under the safety car there. Alright, so we're about to get back racing here right now with Atronak trying to get away pretty quickly, but Liam chasing after him, using all the overtake he has, going down into turn 1. Bradfield coming just behind of him there as well. Going to be interesting to get a train of cars getting through turn 1 here right now, as we can see. And we got Ting 2 cars fighting it side by side, the AlphaTauri, Forza Ferrari, and Jonesy with the fighting it through for that position. And looks like Forza Ferrari gets ahead by 8 tenths. Irish chasing after Jonesy right now, and ahead of Haywood. He's trying to get up into another position if he can. Haywood back up into 11. Mr. Rage ahead, going side by side right now with Irish New Potato trying to fight it for that position. He's a speed 12, and looks like Irish got out of that in front. Mr. Rage has to settle down there for 13th right now on the grid. Red Bull of Haywood out in front of these two and fighting it off to UTS behind in the Haas coming trying to fight for that position as well. Still side by side we do have Haywood and Irish right now. Irish is moving up into 11th place on the grid. Coy moves up against Tango into 7th out front. And now Haywood is under pressure from Mr. Rage to lose that position, as Mr. Rage in the McLaren is trying to get around the outside, has to take it on the inside and still settles back on the racing line and trying to keep that car as stable as he can there. And we got a virtual safety car. Something's happened on track. And looks like it's an incident probably with Jonesy. I'm not sure, because he was stuck down at the back of the grid there, and he does have quite a bit of damage on that front wing, so he's gonna have to get in and get that repaired. So that's gonna be a virtual safety car for that incident there right now. We should be getting back racing any second here right now, so let's just give that a second to go with. A few more pit stops happening, as Scoot cars might have taken some damage on that previous lap there. Okay, so back racing again here right now, so let's have a look on how well this is going. Going back down to Nightwing right now, chasing after Clarky for 5th position in the race. Out in front, Atronak and Liam have about 9/10 between them. So within the hours waiting from that comes back online right again. And then Bradfield there running in P3, 6/10 behind that, so quite a close gap between most of our drivers as we have it here right now. We're on with Kohi in the Alfa Romeo, chasing after Nightwing in the Red Bull. He's looking to get up into 6th position in the race, trying to fight his way back out front to the lead of the race if he can. He does have to wait for some of the cars in front to do a pit stop if he's not able to catch them and get past them. Of course, Nightwing still trying to chase after Clarky for 5th position. So let's get over with him. Software gets a 3-second penalty, and he's running. Where is he running right now? Down there in 12. We'll have to be careful about those penalties. Out in front, we do have some penalties with the drivers as well. DRS is now back online. A bit of trainer cars going on through. Out in front, let's have a look at Bradfield chasing after Liam there for 2nd place in the race right now. Going pretty well. 4/10 between the two of them. I'm going to go back down here though to Nightwing, Clarky and Coey. These three chasing after each other, fighting it out for at least I would say 5th position in the race. Mr. Rage and Forza Ferrari having a bit of a go at it here as Mr. Rage gets ahead of Forza. He's up into 9th place in the race right now. He's going to try to keep it there as much as he can. Forza Ferrari going to try and fight it back. 4/10 behind. And let's see if he's able to gain any sort of advantage. Losing a 10th already. Losing 2/10, 3/10 now. So Mr. Rage trying to get ahead as much as he can. And now we got Mr. Ray trying to catch it back to Irish New Potato out in 8th position in the race. So quite a close gap between them as we have them going here right now. Lovely overhead view of the cars there as well. So Mr. Ray definitely trying to keep up with Irish here, having a bit of a hard time doing that as well. Out front we got Nightwing, a 3:10 gap between him and Clark. He's still chasing around. As you can see, a trainer cars. These three are still at it here. Corey still involved with them as well, trying to get that position up. Of course, the TRS advantage will be alive here right now for them. Let's have a look on board with Knight as he goes side by side right now with Clark. He gets by quite easily with the DRS and overtake on. Goes up into 5th position in the race. Very clean overtake done, very nicely done as well. And we got out in front Tree Slayer and Bradfield fighting it off side by side as Tree Slayer is taking it on the inside and getting around up into 3rd place in the race. That's Bradfield down into 4th right now. So quite a lot of overtakes happening in this race so far as we have it. Out front, Atronak still leads though, with Liam there running 2nd, being about 8/10 behind. He does have that DRS advantage to him running right now. Haywood now getting fastest lap. He's running down in 15th, quite surprisingly for him there. Bradfield still about 4/10 behind Tree Slayer right now. Let's see if he's able to keep up with him, and so far he is, as a gap between most of our cars are just about 5/10. Nightwing's trying to catch up to this battle here as well still, as we can see him coming down at the back there with a few more cars coming behind of him, so all pretty close up behind each other, going all the way down to Corey down the back. Irish about 2 seconds behind, still not too far off. He does have Mr. Rage about 4 or 5/10 behind of him, so he does need to be a bit worried about that. Oh, and we can see, and we got a bit of contact here between Nightwing and I think with Bradfield there was fighting it out for 4th position in the race. That is Nightwing down quite a few positions right now. Almost took some damage from that car, trying to force his way around to the final turn there and really trying to get that position up. I think that was a bit too I'm not sure what to say about that, but just a bit too much to push on through for. He was getting a bit off track there as well, so a spin was not too surprising to see happen, but still pushing for that was quite an interesting move from his end, but not able to get it done. Lost quite a few positions because of that there though. Jonesy out of this race, and we can see where that happened down there in sector 2, getting over to sector 3 I think, and that's the exact part of the track where we say if you do go too wide on that curve, you do lose the rear end of the car and you're ending up straight into the barriers on the right side of the track, so you do have to be very, very careful about that. So for that incident, we do have a virtual safety car right now, which is going to be over very, very shortly. Let's have a look at our gaps here right now. Sofdog is a drive-through penalty for speeding under the VSC. Unfortunate for him there. And Liam trying to get ahead. He gets ahead of Atronak here just after this VSC comes to an end. Caught Atronak napping just a little bit, and he gets ahead quite easily. Done for him. And he's going to keep P1 for now. Atronak going to try to fight it back as much as he can. He's in second place in the race right now with the racing point of Tree Slayer coming up right behind him, and he goes into the pits. He's doing a pit stop right now. 12 laps done on those soft tires so far, and he's going to switch it on probably to the mediums to go to the end of the race. It's a 29 lap race, guys. We're already on lap 14 and going through halfway through the race at this point here right now, we can say. Let's get on to the rest of the grid, fighting it off through right now. Back here with Clarky, Coy, Irish, and I guess with Knight and Forza Ferrari as well. All of it in this. I think mostly with our three that we have. We have Clarky, Coy, and Irish New Potato fighting it off for P3 in the race here right now between the three of them. So let's see how that's going on so far. Seems to be running pretty well. Okay, so still we're following on right now with Corey Irish, and I guess the clock is still all of them in this right now. Atronak and Mr. Ray fighting it down at the back of the grid there. Let's have a look at them in 10th and 11th place as it is there right now. Mr. Ray trying to get past Atronak. He's on fresh medium tires, so going to be a bit difficult right now. Going back up to Corey here right now, chasing after Clarky there. Of course, does have Irish 2/10 just behind of him as well. So, and there you go. Clarky and Coy go side by side trying to fight it off through for this. Coy takes it on the inside. Irish trying to get on the inside of Clarky there as well as they all get on through. Coy still holds on now to P3. Clarky down to P4. Irish currently is still in P5, running 2/10 behind both of them. Very close after this battle. Very dangerous place to be as well, but still quite impressive overtake just done. But I'm not sure how Irish is keeping up with these guys and not causing any damage to his car right now. Irish is now up against Clarky. He's up into P4. Clarky is down to P5. He's lost 2 positions in this race so far there with this battle between the three of them. So he's still up into P3. Irish is now going to chase after him. Out in front we got Liam. Oh, and Irish gets a penalty, unfortunately, for track limits there. Of course, Liam now leading the race with Tree Slayer running 1.1 seconds behind of him. Both of them are on the same strategy, running 14 laps so far on those medium tires. They haven't done a pit stop as yet. Corey has done a pit stop earlier on in the race. He's running 8 laps on his medium tires and he's running P3. Irish here, 8 laps done on his soft tires. He took an early pit stop as well during the first safety car, I think it was. And he's currently now 2/10 behind Corey. Down the pit straight, taking side by side with him, and he's gonna have the inside. Gets around the position and back onto the racing line already before they actually even get to turn 1. He's up into 3rd place in this race. Those soft tires working pretty well for him so far. They haven't lost any grip so far. They still have sufficient grip, at least I would say. So he's going to try and keep that position as much as he can there right now. So Tree Slayer still running a second behind Liam, trying to get into DRS range if he can. 2.4 seconds right now is the gap between Tree Slayer and Irish New Potato for 2nd place in the race. We'll see how that battle progresses on. Kohi here, 7/10 behind Irish, a pretty good gap. Clarky another 8/10 behind. Nightwing another 7/10 behind, as they're all going to chase on through. But quite an impressive race at this point. Qualifying was a lot of fun to watch. If you guys missed that, do have a look at the qualifying session back at the end of here on, when we see Clarky almost lost the rear of the car getting off that turn. There has to be very, very careful. Doesn't want to be losing it at this point in the race here right now. Lap 16 of 29. And we got a way more to go in this race still. We are past the halfway point, of course. But still quite a bit way more to go. Let's go on down to the back of the grid, have a look at Sofdar right now in the Ferrari. He's chasing after Vintage there for P12 in this race. Tango gets a 3-second penalty as it is right now. Got about a 5-10 gap between Sofdar and Vintage. Let's have a look on board to see how that's going. DRS advantage. Vintage is under pressure here right now. And Sofdar was thinking about taking it on the inside. And Vintage goes a bit wide. Sofdar takes that position away quite easily actually and gets up into 12th place in the race. And we got, I think, Utez into the pits out front. So let's go back out front now. Nightwing here chasing after Clarkey. 3/10, 2/10 behind right now. And we do have Kohi in front of them. But of course, a closer battle between Clarkey and Nightwing. Forza Ferrari up into 7th in this race, 7.1 seconds behind Nightwing. He's trying to catch up as much as he can there. Right now, this guy's getting a bit onto the dirt. As you can see, Priestley are still not able to get within the DRS range of Liam out front. So Liam leading this race and doing a very good job of it. Of course, the penalties, we're going to have a look at that in just a bit. But so far, these guys have been driving pretty well. That is Knight getting the overtake done on Clarkey. He's up into 5th place in this race right now in the Red Bull. Clarkey, unfortunately, now down to 6th. Still a close gap between them as they go down the pit straight. Let's have a look on board with Nightwing if he's getting a pretty good run on Koya right now. Looks like he gets pretty close by, but needs another little boost on this DRS range coming up here right now. Let's see if this is going to be any help to him. He does have some overtake to use, but not using it as yet. He's going to keep behind the Alfa Romeo of Kohi right now, at least, as we do have Clarkey coming just behind of them there as well. We got a virtual safety car. Mr. Rage has retired from the session. He is off on that same portion of the track that we talked about, where drivers do go a bit too wide and end up losing the rear of the car, and then just end up actually and there is his car. There is you end up in the side of the track when that does happen. And we're back racing again. The VSC is over. We're back racing again, and DRS is online. Let's have a look out front with Liam here leading the race still. 17 laps done on these tires so far. He has not taken a pit stop as yet. I assume he probably will be taking one within the next lap or two, though. So will Tree Slayer be, because he's probably going to pit just behind Liam there as well. We're going to see how those two decide to do that. Of course, we're coming back here with Nightwing right now. Red battle going on between him, Kohi in front, and Clarkey behind of him. These three have been chasing each other around for quite a bit on track here right now. We're going to have a look on board with Nightwing with some DRS advantage, using a bit of overtake as well as Clarkey goes into the pits, and he's going to go alongside Kohi. He's going to take it on the inside, and he gets to the wrong turn one, gets the position up into the lead of the race. He goes right now as everyone else is into the pits, and that is Kohi now up into 2nd place in the race there as well. So not too bad a position for these guys so far. Of course, Nightwing, 17 laps on the medium tires. He's going to have to do another pit stop. Now we do have Kohi 12 lap on those mediums as well. He might have to do another pit stop there as well, as I don't think those will be able to do another 10 laps in this race. That's going to be a tough call, and he's going to be losing a lot of grip, especially leading out front with cars catching back up to him using fresh soft tires. So he's going to need to be a bit careful about his strategy there. We'll see how that works for him. But right now, 8/10 between our race leader Nightwing and Kohi here for 2nd place in the race. Going back down to Irish here, 2/10 between him, chasing after Clarkey for P7 in the race right now. Both of them on fresh soft tires. And he seems to be running pretty well so far. Does have Liam about 6/10 behind of him. So we'll see how that's going to work. Clarkey gets a 3-second penalty there for track limits. Utez and Nightwing, the only two drivers in this race so far not having any penalties. The penalties, we do need to be a bit careful about that, because that's definitely going to be affecting their race positions. And we got our race leader Nightwing is getting into the pits there right now. That's going to put Kohi up into the lead of the race, and let's see for how long, because he's 13 laps done on those medium tires so far. Forza Ferrari running down there in 3rd. He's going to go up into 2nd in the race right now, and he's done 13 laps, and he's running on the hard tires which he started the race on. So his strategy has put him up into 2nd place in the race right now. So let's see when he does decide to do a pit stop, which he might do maybe on the upcoming lap. We'll see how that's going to work for him. And we can see Nightwing getting back out on track already. He's running in front of Bradfield, Clarkey, and we got Bradfield and Clarkey going side by side, trying to switch it up here right now. Irish coming just behind of that as well. So a bit of a train of cars fighting it on through for a position here. Let's see how many cars we do have. A Tree Slayer, a pretty close gap between him and Atronak out front. Let's have a look on how that's going right now, because he's trying to chase after him to get up into third place in the race. We do have to penalties on line very, very soon to have a look on how this is going right now. There's a very, very close gap between Tree Slayer and Atronak here, and this is a fight for P3 in the race. Put penalties aside at this point here right now. They're just fighting for positions to get across the line with, and penalties, we're going to consider that just later on in the session. They do have to think about it as drivers in a race though, in terms of what position they're going to be finishing the race across the line and what position they do get when the race is actually over here. So on board, we're going to go right now with Tree Slayer as he's chasing after Atronak. A very, very close gap, as you can see here right now. He's trying to break in time to avoid any contact with the Alfa Romeo in front of him. And onto the pit straight right now. He's going to have the DRS advantage, have the overtake on. He's going to be forced to take it around the outside, the longer way around the Alfa Romeo, and he still gets the position. Up into third place goes Tree Slayer. Atronak down to fourth right now. And let's have a look back here. What's happening with Atronak? He's lost it around turn 1, and he's falling down quite a few positions. He's lost the entire front wing from that car on lap 21 of this race. That is Tango going into the wall down the side of the track there as well. He's losing his entire front wing. What's happening around turn 1? I'm not sure there, but something seems to have gone wrong for two drivers so far in this lap that we have it there. They're gonna have to get back into the pits, get a change of front wings, and then get back on track to fight for positions here again, with just about 8.5 laps left to go in the Australian Grand Prix as you have it right now. Kohi leads this race. Forza Ferrari running in second, Tree Slayer running in third, Nightwing up to fourth right now in the race, and is in the DRS range. No, not in the DRS range, sorry. He does have Clarkey in his DRS range. He's trying to get into the DRS range of Tree Slayer out in front, and he's running on fresh tires. So is Tree Slayer though, so he's going to be a bit of battle between him and Tree Slayer for the lead of the race, I can see. Because for a fact we know that Forza Ferrari will have to do a pit stop. He has to do a mandatory pit stop in this race. Kohi there running 14 laps so far on those tires. Is he 15 laps now? Is he going to be able to do another 7 laps on those medium tires to take that car to the end of the race? Does have a bit of a gap to work with, but is it going to be enough to keep Tree Slayer and Nightwing behind of him? That is a gamble he is going to have to decide if he's going to take in this race here right now. Needs to check out percentage burn off on those tires so far and what they do have left in terms of lifespan, if they're going to be able to go another 7 to 8 laps in it. They do need to go at least 8 laps in this race for him to push it that much, because at this point it's going to be quite dangerous in terms of trying to get to the end of the race on those tires as he has it there. We have seen drivers go about 17, 18 laps maybe, but is it going to be enough to push it all the way to about 22 laps on those mediums? I'm not sure. Forza Ferrari down behind Tree Slayer right now. Tree Slayer gets the overtake done, and we got who else is trying to get it wrong? The Red Bull of Nightwing trying to get it wrong there as well. So Forza Ferrari down to 4th position in the race right now. Those tires are starting to tell on him, and he's on the hard tires right now, and he's starting to lose positions already, so he might want to start thinking about doing a pit stop at this point in the race. He is now down to 4th place from 2nd, Tree Slayer up into 2nd place, Nightwing up to 3rd, and they're still chasing after each other as we can see there. We're going down to Clarkey right now, who is 2/10 behind Forza Ferrari right now. He's looking to get by. Let's see if Forza is going to go into the pits, and looks like he might. No, he's not actually going to go into the pits. He's going to keep on out on track and continue racing on those same set of tires that he has on there right now. Oh, and he did do a pit stop earlier, my bad. He's 16 laps done on those tires. It looks like he's going to the end of the race on them. Irish gets past as well and goes along behind Clarkey. He's trying to get alongside him and trying to get an overtake done here right now. Has to still slot in on the racing line and chasing him after. He's still P5, though not a bad position at this point. Let's put penalties on for just a bit and have a look at that. See what's happening with penalties in this race so far. So as we can see there right now, and we're going to go on here with Liam, who's about to get ahead of Forza Ferrari there as well. So out front, Kohi leads the race, but does have a 6-second penalty. Of course, Tree Slayer behind of him by 8.4 seconds with a 3-second penalty. So that score, he's still taking the race win if he maintains that gap as it is there right now. Of course, though, we do have Nightwing about a 10th behind Tree Slayer right now, and he's trying to get ahead for that position there, and let's see if he's going to get it up. and he gets a penalty. Unfortunately, that's going to cost him a bit. Now he does get the position up, go side by side with a racing point of Tree Slayer. He's up into second place in the race right now. Tree Slayer is down to third. Of course, he does have a 3-second penalty, a 7.6-second gap to Kohi out front. So we have the same situation happening between Kohi and Night Slayer for the race finish here right now. That was going to happen between Tree Slayer and Kohi. So Kohi's still going to be able to keep it if he keeps the gap above 3 seconds. That's all he needs to do at this point here. Nightwing would have stand a much better chance of getting the race win for the Australian Grand Prix if you did not have any penalties. Now we have every single driver with a penalty in this race. We're probably going to just leave that on as we go to the end of the race here right now. A Tree Slayer, a 3:10 gap between him and Night Slayer. Irish here, Clarkey still fighting it out for P4 in the race. So a battle for P2, a battle for P4. What else do we have happening on track? Down we have a battle for P11 down the back here with Atronak and Jose there. Fight it off in opposite. Atronak gets it up already. Up into 11th he goes. And that's Jose down to 12th place in the race. Tango not performing too well today for McLaren. He's down in 13th on the grid, and the only McLaren left in the race as well. We've lost Haywood, we've lost Mr. Rage, we've lost Jonesy, Neil, Walker, and Mikey from this race so far. 20 drivers started, we're down to 14. Forza Ferrari and Liam fighting it off, I think, here for our position, as Liam is now down to 7. I think he's probably disconnected from his car. I'm not even sure what's happening with him there. Let's get on back up here though to Tree Slayer. Still chasing after Nightwing. Now Nightwing is 5.2 seconds behind Kohi. He needs to get a gap 3 seconds on under if he wants to get the race win here right now. Gap is now down to 4.8 seconds. Nightwing is gaining time from Kohi right now. Those are medium old tires, I think, which he's on. Let's have a look. What tires is he on? Yep, 18 laps done on those medium tires, and Kohi's going to push those tires to the end of the race. Incredible for him to even try to do this right now. And he still might stand a very good chance of finishing on the podium, even with those tires as old as they are there right now. So what an incredible strategy coming off of Kohi here right now. Let's see if he's able to pull this off. We got about 4 more laps to go in this race though, so he has quite a way more to go if he's going to try and actually get this done. Really try to finish a race on those medium tires as he has it there. And Tango has retired from the session. He's off the track. That's at least 3 or 4 drivers who lost on the same portion of the track, right where we talked about where cars go a little bit too wide, lose the rear of the car and straight into the barriers. And that is Irish out of the race, unfortunately, there right now. Let's see if we can have a look at his car. And there's his car on the side of the track. He lost the rear of the car, I think, and ended up into the barriers. They're unfortunate. That's going to be no points there for him. So his teammate Bradfield left in the race right now. That's the only Williams left in. Unfortunate for Irish. He's going to have to deal with having no points in this race. That's another driver out. As we can see, it's very, very difficult sometimes to keep full control of these cars. Oh, and Corey gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. He took a pit stop and got another 5-second penalty, which he might have to serve in the pit here. Let's have a look. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to serve it on this pit stop or not. He'll probably have to do another one to serve it, which he's not going to do. So he's getting back out. That is going to be added to his race time there. Let's have a look at that. Yep, so it has been added to his time. So he did decide actually to do a pit stop and try to get rid of the tires that he had on. So Nightwing now leads the Australian Grand Prix by 1.2 seconds against Treasley, who's in second place in the race right now. Of course, all of you guys do have penalties. We'll bring that back online in just about a lapse time or so as we have it there. So Nightwing leads the race. Treasley runs in second. Clarkey runs in third. Forza Ferrari is up to fourth still in this race. 19 laps done on those hard tires. He has another 3.5 laps to go if he needs to finish the race on them. And Bradfield looking to get by him there right now, trying to go alongside him. Of course, let's see how this is going to work out for them. Bradfield has gone up ahead of him, up into P4 right now. So Forza Ferrari is down to 5th in the race and might be able to keep this position because 9.1 seconds is the gap between him and Kohi. Of course, don't put it past Kohi here right now because Kohi is on fresh, soft tires and he's going to be blasting his way through the track and trying to catch up and trying to get a position back. So let's see how drivers are going to finish this race at this point as it is there right now. A friend follow on with Clarky here. See how close he is to Tree Slayer, and I don't think he's getting pretty close as yet. So he does have about 7.7 seconds, I think. But that gap is kind of frozen, so we'll have to wait for that to fix itself. Let's go on out in front of Tree Slayer, chasing after Nightwing. That's a bit of a gap to him here right now. We're on board right now with Forza Ferrari. 9/10 the gap between him and Bradfield. Does still have that DRS advantage alive, but starting to lose that here right now as the gap now goes ahead of a second. And Koi is seem to be a bit frustrated in the race there right now because he now gets another 3-second penalty added. That's probably about 14 seconds of penalty so far for him. So not looking too good on that end. We're on lap 27 of 29 in the race right now. So just about 2.5 laps left to go before we finish off the Australian Grand Prix here. And UTS there with a 5-second unserved penalty as well, finishes 9th. So let's have a look at our final results and driver of the day. And driver of the day goes to Clarky there. Not too bad for that, so congratulations to him. And congratulations on Nightwing on the win for the race. Alright, so let's have a look at the final results here right now for the Australian Grand Prix. PGL F1 Wednesday division. Around 12 of 21. So Nightwing takes the win for the Australian Grand Prix. Tree Slayer takes 2nd place on the podium. We got Clarky taking 3rd place on the podium there right now. And Bradfield takes 4th. We got Forza Ferrari takes 5th right now. Not a bad finish for him. Sobdar takes 6th. Kohi takes 7th, unfortunately because of penalties. And his teammate just behind him there in 8th takes that position there. So that's Atronak. UTS takes 9th on the grid. Jose takes 10th. Liam finishes 11th. Vintage 12. Irish 13. Tango 14. Haywood 15. Mr. 8 16. Jonesy 17. Neil 18. Walker 19. Mikey there 20th on the grid. And so Tango had the fastest lap. Not sure how that's going to hold up because he didn't get to finish the race and not even in the top 10. We'll see how that works. But yeah, guys, thank you guys for joining us on for this race session here. Thanks for joining on the video. Please, guys, remember to leave a like on the stream on this video here for us. Does help us out a lot. And remember, if you're new in the channel, if you haven't done so already, please make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. It does help us out a lot, and we do appreciate the support. And we do have much more races happening during the course of the week. And I'll see you guys on the next stream. So thank you guys for joining us on for this stream here right now. Have a good evening, everyone.